Halloween costumes to die for. Today on Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer. A technician will be with you in 4 hours.
4 hours?
With an upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config board should be set to ID6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
You pull right over there. I'm going to book you for illegal use of a personal confuser. Hey, welcome to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here, and this is the show. Yeah, where we dress in funny costumes and help you with your personal confuser. You see, this looks like I look like a chauffeur in this hat. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably already have seen Amber MacArthur.
Yep.
Trixie, we call her.
Probably haven't seen me like this.
And ladies and gentlemen, bring in Hoss!
All right.
Oh, man. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear.
Hi, Mom.
Happy Halloween. We're doing it a little bit early because Halloween Sunday this year, so we aren't going to be here on Sunday. So we thought we liked it. It's just any excuse to dress up.
Yeah,
really.
Is
my opinion.
Yeah.
That's every day on Call for Help.
Every day on Call for Help. So, I have another hat. Can I have the Mountie hat, Basil? It's the one on the hat rack over there. What do you think? I think maybe the Mountie hat would be. Going to look like a state trooper instead of a chauffeur.
Or a security guard.
Thank you. Wait a minute. Come here, Basil. Wait a minute. No, you're not sneaking off that fast. Look at this. The Rasta Man. You're from Jamaica, aren't you? Yeah, so this is actually quite natural for him. Are you holding, man? I'm going to have to frisk him a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's for his stash.
Hey, welcome to the show. This is the show where we actually don't always act silly. What we try to do here is help you with your personal confuser, help you understand how it works and get the most out of it. Now I got state trooper hair. What are you doing, Andy, today besides wearing a weird outfit? You have a fan in that thing?
Yeah. I have this little fan that's blowing it up. So every time I sit down, it deflates.
It's inflatable.
Yeah.
It's a self-inflating horsey.
See, poor horse,
now he's kind of droopy.
I know, it's sort of embarrassing.
So you have to wait till the fan kind of... oh, look, he's coming up.
It's coming up again.
Wait a minute. Now, you sit down. This is a family show. What are you going to be doing on the show today?
I'm going to teach you all about file compression.
Okay.
And we're going to use some interesting props.
Yeah, how does he get those 8 great tomatoes in that little bitty can?
There you go.
How they do it. And Amber, what are you going to be doing?
I'm actually going to show some sites where you can find great Halloween costumes. So really quick and easy homemade ideas.
Now, this you didn't have to find. You had.
No, I bought this. I've been wearing this for a couple of years. It's my go-to costume.
What she wears when she's not at work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We're going to also get expert tips from our Word expert on customizing your Word documents. So that'll be a lot of fun. And later, we're going to show you custom costume ideas.
Yeah.
And he's going to squeeze things. But meanwhile, let's get on with the show. Time for our first caller today.
Yeah, we have our first caller. We have Jason from Montreal, Quebec on the line.
Jason from Montreal. Let me take my hat. Take a walk. The perp walk. I got my eye on you, kid. That man is trouble, I could tell you. Oh, look, it's my little partner here. Excuse me, I got to do a show today. Hey, Jason, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. What can we do for you today?
Well, I design web pages.
Yeah.
And when I switched over to Mozilla,
yes,
I noticed that it looks as if the table is pushing all my images and graphics apart.
Yeah.
But when it's on IE and people see it, it
looks
okay.
different. What's can we see the address? What's the?
It's InnovansTech.com.
How do you spell Evans or Evans?
INNOVANCE Tech.
Okay. VANCE Tech. InnovansTech. Is this a company site?
Yes.
Okay. Looks nice. And you have tables on these buttons, or where do you have tables?
Everything is put inside the table, like each thing is in a cell.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's a very common way to lay out a site, although it's becoming less and less popular thanks to cascading style sheets. Tables for a long time were the only way that you could really lay out a site. Now, I'm doing this in Firefox, and it looks okay. I'll tell you, there are a number of issues that can come up. One is that not all the specification for HTML and cascading style sheets is loose enough that each browser gets some choice in how it's going to do things. So it isn't unusual for 2 different browsers to render the page slightly differently. Also, Internet Explorer, in my experience, tends to be a little bit more lenient than other browsers. So you can do incorrect HTML and get away with it in IE, whereas another browser will give you a hard time. What I would suggest, I'm going to take a copy of your URL, and what I would suggest is you validate your markup first. Make sure that you don't have any errors in your HTML. Do you know about this? The World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, has a validator service at validator.w3.org, which you can run and should run any web page through to make sure that you don't have a whole lot of big issues. And there are a couple of issues. Now, but believe me, every page is going to get some errors. There's no perfect page. What you're going to look for is some errors that might, in fact, cause these tables to jump. And, you know, I see you have missing margin tags that could, in fact, affect the table here.
Okay.
And I wouldn't worry. The alt tag, you know, that's merely that's an accessibility issue. Same thing with the ID tag. I wouldn't worry about those too much. It's these margin errors that might be causing the tables to jump a little bit.
Okay, because it wasn't the whole site that looks bad. It's just like certain pages.
Certain pages, yeah. So go through. These are only individual pages. Go through each page. If you use cascading style sheets, I'm guessing you don't. In fact, yeah.
Well, I find that it limits me to design capability.
Yeah, I understand.
Right. You don't have the freedom and the flow to design and do whatever you want.
Yeah, right. And there's, in fact, no style sheet in there. You know, I'm of two minds. CSS is the future. It's where everything is going, but I understand you feel limited. Do you do this by hand, or do you use a web design tool to do it?
I use Photoshop, Illustrator,
okay,
and then I pass it all through Dreamweaver.
Okay, using Dreamweaver. Well, it should do pretty compliant code. You know, I mean, it may just be that sometimes there's little things like which page how far do I have to go to get a page that will actually do that jumping?
I think maybe it's on somewhere in the services.
Services, okay.
And I think in one of the biopharmaceutical pages.
Okay, let's take a look and see if I can make it happen. I've had problems, by the way, the same kinds of problems. And what I really end up doing is I go through each different browser, and it's a pain in the butt, and I look at my page in each different browser, and I'll play with things. If you have jumping, I have, for instance, jumping rollovers in my menu bar, and it was because I wasn't giving enough space to the graphic above. Sometimes just changing the spacing in your tables will help, or adding some padding. Using the padding command. All of these you can set within Dreamweaver or do in HTML. Amber, do you have any thoughts on this kind of thing? I mean, you probably see this a lot. The sites you do for Microsoft, obviously, they validate it in Internet Explorer. Do they look at it in other browsers?
You know, I don't know if they're starting to look at it in Mozilla, but if they are, it's just starting now.
They really ought to be.
It's so new, yeah.
What's happened is there's a huge shift. In fact, just the other month, they came out with a study that said that Internet Explorer was starting to lose market share to Mozilla. On my site, only about 50 or 60% of my users are using IE. 25% are using Mozilla. So
really?
I want to make sure that my site, at least, is compliant.
Yeah.
What do you suggest designers do? Do you?
Oh, test in anything you can possibly test in. You know, definitely keep testing in IE, but start to test in some of the new browsers as well.
Right.
You know, it depends a lot on your audience as well. I know with one of the sites that I work on, our audience is very new, so a lot of them are still on IE.
So you don't have to worry about that.
So we don't have to worry about it as much, but I suspect within about 6 months we'll have to worry about it.
It's going to be more of a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
And what tool do your designers use? Do they use front page because you're working for Microsoft?
No, they don't use front page.
I won't put them on the spot.
Yeah.
Do they use Dreamweaver?
Some of them use Dreamweaver, but front page is better if you're doing kind of a basic website, but not our stuff is a little more advanced.
Right. Dreamweaver is a really great tool. I mean, you're using the right tool, Jason, and Dreamweaver has good support for cascading style sheets if you end up going there. But I understand that you're reluctant to move there, but I do think that's the way it's going. You guys probably use CSS heavily.
Yes, we use it heavily because our site is quite big. We actually have 350 pages on one of our main sites that I work on. So
one of the advantages of style sheets is that you can have one style sheet that controls the whole site. If all of a sudden you decide blue is no longer the color, that pink is the new black, you can change everything to pink.
It's awesome.
And it's like that. And it changes the whole site.
Exactly. I think everybody should start to think about using CSS for sure.
It's much more flexible.
It's flexible, and then you have sort of a consistent look and feel to the site, and it's easier to maintain. It doesn't look so choppy.
I've started moving over after you criticized my site.
I'm sorry.
And said this could be different. And one of the problems I had, I was using frames.
Yeah.
And CSS can eliminate frames. Now, and that's what Jason is doing here with tables. In effect, is I gather using tables for the nav stuff on the left there, and that is a good way to do it, except that sometimes you can get that jumping effect because what's happening is the sizing is not the same in Internet Explorer and a Firefox. In fact, one thing we might want to try doing, and I wish more people would do this, is increase the font size on a site and see what happens. Because
it blows it right apart, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had that problem when I did one for someone, and it pushed the whole page into pieces.
See what's happening? And now that's not desirable because you cannot predict what font size users are going to want. You have to make a site that degrades gracefully if people increase the font size, because many users, like me, are over 40 and they want a bigger font. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But those are just some thoughts, Jason. I would run it through the validator, take a look at particularly the pages that you're having trouble with, what the W3C validator says, and then focus on those tags to make them more compliant. And I think a lot of it's going to be spacing for you.
Okay.
Okay?
But could it have been a problem like when I did my slices and measuring up my table sizes?
It could easily be. That's what if you're doing slices of the things here, you're making assumptions. You're making assumptions about the fixed size of the page that might be incorrect in Firefox. Because it doesn't render, the fonts are different, things like that.
Okay.
Hey, good luck, Jason. It's a tough problem every web designer has to face right now, but the key is really looking at it in all those different browsers. It's not an Internet Explorer world anymore. Okay. Hey, thanks. I appreciate the call. Take care.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a happy Halloween. If you take a file and crunch it down to smaller, how can that be? How can you get a file smaller? Andy is going to show us, using plain old household items, how compression works after this break. Stay right here. Better. I got my eye on you.
When you believe, yes, it will be when you believe.
I recommend a lobotomy.
That could help. That could help. Welcome back to Call for Help, the Halloween edition in the great tradition of Call for Help in our 7th Halloween now, and we've always done costumes, and we're just doing them today, too. We're still coming on, going, oh, here comes Andy. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. All right, little buddy. In our great tradition of Call for Help, too, of helping you out, we're going to talk a little bit about compression programs. You maybe used WinZip, or you've used MP3s or JPEGs. They can crunch a file, so it takes less space on a computer or in an email. But have you ever wondered how it works? Andy's here to show us how compression works.
Yes, sir.
Come on in here, partner. Let's talk about what's your horse's name?
I don't know. What do you think my horse's name should be?
I don't know, Stuffy? I don't know.
Inflatey?
I'm wondering maybe if the hat would work on me here.
Yeah, that's farmer. No. You look like a farmer.
That's an Edmonton cop. Cop. No, I think I'll stick with the regular cop hat. So compression.
So compression. Let's what you're taking is an existing file, and you're taking a bunch of stuff out of it, and you're making it smaller.
Right.
So
now I should say there's two kinds of compression. Mm-hmm. There's lossless and lossy. Lossless, you don't lose anything. When you reinflate it, it comes back to exactly the way it was. Lossy, you actually take material out to compress it even more.
Right. It's reversible.
Yeah. We're going to talk about lossless.
Lossless. So you're going to compress something down, and then you're going to uncompress it later.
And it'll be exactly the same as it was before.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And, when it comes to things like WinZip, you can get file compressions of 10, 20 times in some cases. And I've got a classic example here on my screen. I've taken a call for help document, a Microsoft Word document, which has lots of white space, and I've used WinZip on it, and it's gone from 36K down to 5K.
Wow, less than a seventh the size. That's really great.
Yeah. So the question is, how does it do that?
How do it do that? And why didn't it do it in the first place? I guess would be the other question.
That would be the other question, yeah.
That's a good question for another day. So does it involve apples, lemons, and tomatoes?
Well, if you think about what a file is, it's actually a bunch of ones and zeros.
Right.
It's binary code, right? And so what WinZip and other programs like it do is it looks for patterns in those ones and zeros, and it says, you know what, if we got 10 patterns, like we have, here's 3 tomatoes, and here's another 3 tomatoes. Well, what's the point in having those if we can just sort of take the tomatoes out and put something in its place to say there are 3 tomatoes here?
Like 1 times 3.
1 times 3, right? So what it does is...
Uh-oh. Are you going to give me something to wear?
Yeah, let me...
When he gets the hammer out around tomatoes, I think it's time to put the slicker on. We got these from the Maid of the Mist over at Niagara Falls.
That's right.
And, the hole for the head is kind of small. Okay. All right.
That's what the cops have to wear.
That's good, yeah. Let me put the hat on, too. All right. I'm ready. So
the file comes along.
How do we do this, Andrew?
And he goes, oh, look, there's a pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get...
On your left? Oh, jeez. Okay.
Rid of it. And, and instead, I'm going to destroy it, and I'm going to take a token.
That's a token.
A token.
Looks like a mug, but we'll call it a token.
Says 3 tomatoes.
3 tomato token.
And it's actually going to
much smaller than the 3 tomatoes.
Much smaller than the 3 tomatoes before.
So to not confuse people, there is no sledgehammer involved in WinZip.
That's an electronic sledgehammer.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the idea. It basically takes something out and it replaces it with something that's much smaller.
So where there's redundancy, you can get more compression.
Right.
The more redundancy, the more compression.
Well, imagine a file has 400 sets of 3 tomatoes. Well, you pull those out and you replace it with 1 token, and it says there are 3 tomatoes here, and you can get huge.
Image files can be heavily compressed because, like blue sky, you just say, hey, there's a lot of blue sky here. Just for the next 400 bytes, blue.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes it a lot smaller.
And if you think about Word documents,
same thing.
Letters, or lots of white space.
Sure. Lots of spaces.
So that's how file compression works.
You're going to take the hammer and anything else?
Oh, actually, I'll let you if you want to do it.
All right. If you want to know,
I know.
Now this was kind of lossy compression because I don't think you're ever getting that tomato back.
Well, no.
But normally,
reconstitute it.
It would be reconstituted exactly as it was before. For more information on how file compression works, I feel like I could be like one of those chime ringers, on Christmas. Check out our web notes at callforhelptv.com. Now, that was a bad choice. It's time to taste your technology. Same thing. What are you giving me? Use a tomato. It's time to take the question. I can't squeeze them. What are Bezier curves, Bezier. Is it a way of predicting errors, a math used in vector graphics, a type of drafting tool, or a dangerous road in France? Attention, Bezier curves ahead. Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. All right, one more time. I'm going to smash this one. Oh, Zdenko, careful. He's running.
Give it to me, baby.
Welcome back to Call for Help, our Halloween edition. We got some, what is this for? Does this do?
Don't push the button.
There's a little red button here.
Don't do it.
I think it has something to do with the city. Is it going to blow it up? Oh, look. It's making noise.
Oh.
Ooh. One of the things I've noticed about Toronto is there's a lot of condominiums going up.
Yes.
And this is our representation of the Toronto condominium explosion. What's going to happen? Is it going to blow up? Oh, look, fog. It's starting to look like San Francisco now. Hey, let's take another caller on Call for Help. Do I have to keep pressing it, or does it stop, or will it?
Don't know.
I guess I have to keep pressing it.
Here, I'll do it.
No, that's all right. I'll keep pressing it. Do we have a caller on the line?
Yep, we
Trixie?
do. Trixie. We have Margaret from Rodon, Quebec.
I like the Trixie. Hello, Margaret. How are you? Margaret? Do I have to press this? Oh, no, smoke's coming out of the roof. Margaret, are you there? Hello, Margaret. All right, I think we lost her. I'll tell you what, we're going to do Andy's free file. Here, Trixie, you can keep pressing the button.
All right.
I'm going to wander over here, and then we'll see if we can get Margaret on the line again. She might have been scared off. I would have been scared off.
She's lost in the fog.
Yeah, that's right. It's free file time, and Andrew, the horseman walker, you won't be walking this time. You'll be riding in style.
That's right, riding in town.
Has a free file for us.
I do. Today, we are...
Hurry up, the fan's going to run out of batteries and the whole thing's going to deflate. Now, come on.
Today we're doing SmartBarXP.
SmartBarXP!
Right, yet another toolbar, but what's cool about this is somebody leaked Longhorn, which is the code name for the next version of Windows.
Which won't be out for years.
2006, 2007. And it has this new kind of really cool pop-up toolbar.
Yeah.
And so all the developers out there rushed around and went, hey, let's clone that real quick. So somebody launched a file called SmartBarXP without the
this is going to be some of the features of Longhorn built into XP.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, if they do
Maybe,
this way.
if they don't decide not to change their mind at the last minute.
Which they have. Oh, whoa.
So what happens is you get a major toolbar with all kinds of really cool things like clocks, your search bar, you have a little MP3 player, quick launch bar, all kinds of stuff so basically it's claiming new real estate.
Right. And the truth is Linux and Solaris, a lot of operating systems have had these kind of big taskbars in the past.
Nothing really new there, but a good idea.
Figures that Microsoft might borrow that.
Right. So you can.
But this is a web search bar in there.
Web search bar. Yeah. There's lots of options. If you right-click on it and click on Properties, you can get all kinds of different clock setups.
Cool.
You can.
Well, I'm amazed that people do stuff like this free. I mean, this is a lot of work.
It sure is. And it uses XML, right? Which is a way to suck in little bits of information that are customized for your use.
Look at all the news. I
Lots
love
of
this.
news. We could put the BBC World on there.
Yeah, this is great.
You know, all kinds of little bar settings. CNN Money.
What's the tech news there? Let's see what the. Oh, look at that.
So CNET News.
These are a lot of places I actually check every morning to see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, you could pretty much populate this bar with 2 or 3 dozen things.
What's it look like when you put the news in? Does it show headlines? What is it?
I just added BBC World there.
Okay.
So click apply. Okay.
And there's a little thing there, and I could just.
So I guess headlines are not populated. Let's try putting something else in there.
Oh yeah, probably takes a while to download the news. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's put in health and news, CNN News. Hit apply.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
it's going to take a little while to get the actual headlines in there. But that's neat. So then the headlines will show up, and I can click on them and see the story. That's really great.
Yeah, exactly.
Really cool.
And you can actually compress it, get rid of it. Anyway, but if Longhorn does this, and it does it in different sizes...
It'll do it just like this, maybe, if it doesn't.
If it doesn't. But I think it's one of those clever things. You know, there's so many
these are handy, yeah.
There's so many toolbars on the marketplace, and why not put everything that you kind of get to on a casual basis on that toolbar?
SmartBar is the name of it, and it's free.
SmartBarXP, and it's free. It's free, yeah.
And, of course, you'll have a link to it, and all of our free files of the day are always online at our website, callforhelptv.com. Still not any response from Margaret, I don't think. So we're going to take a break.
No. Okay.
And do you want to do the quiz? I think we already did the quiz. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll see if we can get her on the line. And a whole lot more is Call for Help. And in just a bit, our office guru is going to show us some cool ways, Michael McBurney, to make Microsoft Word a little more stylish. You stay right here.
Very good.
The fog is great. Oh, I love it. Welcome back to Call for Help, our Halloween edition. Most people use Microsoft Word, just as a way to enter text. But if you use it professionally or for school and you want to get more out of it, it can really be a powerful publishing tool. Office expert Michael McBurney is ready and eager to show us how to customize documents to give them some style. Welcome, Michael.
How you doing, man?
Michael's costume today, by the way, is office trainer. How do you like it? It's a good costume.
Looks good, don't you think?
It's very believable.
Yes.
So are you any relation to Heather McBurney, who's also been here helping us with
She's the better looking half.
Of your... Oh, so you're a couple.
Yes,
That's great.
we are.
Husband and wife, and you have a baby, right?
We have actually 2 children. We have Michael Ryan, who's 4, who's actually in grade 1 now, and our youngest son is 3 years old, and his name is Zachary Alexander.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm glad you could be here with us today. So let's take a look at Microsoft Word. I think most people, when they use Word, only use a small fraction of the potential that's there.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that you're going to find is a lot of people will do things repetitiously over and over and over again, and they always look for ways to make it a little bit easier. And one of the best ways and most powerful tools inside of Microsoft Word is styles.
Okay.
So what you can do with styles is if you want to basically do some formatting, you would select the paragraph that you wanted, such as one paragraph, then you would change it to whatever you would like, whatever flavor of the day. It could be an Arial type font, it could be a 10-point font.
Yeah, the normal style is fairly boring. That's the one that comes up by default.
Yeah, normally it's Arial 12-point or 11-point.
Right, right. Can you change the paragraph and line spacing and all that
absolutely,
stuff?
absolutely.
So anything you do to this paragraph could be saved as a style.
Absolutely. Okay. And one of the things that you can do is if you wanted to bold it and you want to change position, say align right, you can do that as well.
Wow. So anything. And then now how do we save this as a style?
Well, one of the easiest ways to do it, I find, is to go up into the style box and you just click in here and you'll see it highlight. Then you would...
Oh, you just do that?
Type in your name.
I've been opening the fonts and styles box and doing all this elaborate. You just type it.
Yeah, keep it simple, right? And just
there it is.
Give it a name, press enter, and it's done.
Now, how can I choose that style? Let's say I'm going to reformat the whole document in Mic 1. How would I do that?
Well, the whole document itself?
Yeah, let's say. I mean, just as an example.
Okay, well, one of the ways you can do it is, first of all, you'd have to select the entire document.
Okay.
So I would do that by just doing a simple Control-A, which would select the entire document. And at this point, I could either come up here to the style box, scroll down until I find Mic 1, so it's in here somewhere.
There's an awful lot of styles, aren't there? These are the default styles that come with it. Is it disappeared?
There it is.
There
it
is.
Here.
Oh, because it's right form, right.
That's right. Yeah, through the text on the right
so
side.
that's a good point. That it'll assume the formatting that you gave the paragraph will show up in that list.
Exactly.
So it's right aligned. So
it's basically giving you a tip on exactly how the style is going to look.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I could select it. And
everything is Mic 1.
That's right.
Is there another way to look at that list without the drop down there?
Sure. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to undo this, what I've done here, so I can give you a good idea.
Go back to the beginning. One of the nice things about Word is you can undo again and again.
World's greatest invention next to the Mapslower, right?
Yeah. It's the ultimate eraser.
So I'm going to select the entire document again.
Okay.
And what I could do is come up here and select Format, Styles, and Formatting. And you'll notice on the right-hand side, it actually gives me Styles and Formatting. It's basically a navigational pane that you can select various styles within Microsoft Word.
Now, this is Office 2003. In XP, it looks a little different. In 90,
it's very similar in XP, but in 2000, it's tremendously different.
Right.
You wouldn't see this navigation.
You'd get a box that comes up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, a little dialog box.
Yeah, dialog box. Okay. Now, there's an awful lot of, I mean, we had a hard time searching for Mic 1. Can I limit the number of styles that I see, or am I stuck seeing that whole list all the time?
Well, one of the ways you can do it is if you can go to Show and click on the down arrow, a little pop-up list will come up, and you can select Custom. And then you would just basically come in here and select, or deselect, I should say, what styles you didn't want to see.
So the ones that you use all the time, you could make them be in the list and show up easier.
That's right.
Which would save you a lot of time. Is there a way to clear out formatting? A lot of times I have formatting in there that I don't want anymore, and I want to kind of get rid of the formatting on the paragraph.
Okay, what you can do, I'm just going to click Cancel here.
Okay.
I can select the paragraph that I want to clear the formatting. I can select Edit, and I should see Clear Format.
Clear formats, and that sets it right back to 0.
Yeah, it removes the style, and you'll notice it went directly back to the normal type
That's
style.
the default style.
Yes.
Styles are a very powerful way in Word to create formatting. You know, if you're a teacher, for instance, you might give your students a set of styles to use that you prefer, if there's a certain way you like the reports to use. If you are a secretary and there's a lot of formatting that you do again and again, put in a style.
Absolutely.
You won't have to type it all in each time.
And even if you look into the legal industry, one of the things that's very important to legal secretaries is that they have to have consistency throughout their documents.
Right.
So they're a big user of styles.
Is there any way to export styles to save it if you put it on a disk or something like that? So you could...
Yeah, there's various ways. One of the easiest ways, the first thing I would have to do here is actually save it to the template.
Right.
Right? So I would specify the style, and I'd come over here to the navigation pane, and I'd scroll down. And I'll find me in here somewhere.
We're going to find Mike. He's on the right, I think.
Yeah, where did he go, though? Did I uncheck me? I might have unchecked me.
Well, that's all right. Just pick one anyway. And
I'll select anyone. Sure. And I can come into, what did you want to save the style, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just click on it, select Modify Style. I can add it to the template.
So now it's part of the document?
That's right. Actually, it's part of Microsoft Word now.
It's built in? Okay.
That's right. So every time you open up Word, you'll see that style.
And I could also create a document that would have all the styles I want and share that blank document. Say, this is your report document. Use these styles like this.
And you can export the styles as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Michael, it's been a real pleasure. Come back again. Give us some more tips in Office.
It's a pleasure.
Our Office expert. Love his costume, huh? For more information about Michael McBurney and his word tricks, check out callforhelptv.com. And your website is?
www.lexinc.com.
LexInc, LEXINC.com. Stick around. More of your calls on the way. It's Call for Help TV. Stay right there. That's great. I threw some extra stuff in there, but...
Welcome back to the Halloween edition of Call for Help.
Let's see if this works.
More gas. It's time for a very exciting part of the show.
Caller number 2. So Trixie
has Victoria from Montreal, Quebec on the line.
Ah, that's great. Hello, Victoria. How are you?
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm very well. Welcome to our Halloween edition of Call for Help.
Great.
Yeah, you probably didn't bring your costume, but that's okay.
Well, actually, I did, but I'm so sad they didn't get my webcam to work.
Oh, nuts. What was your costume? You can imagine it.
Oh, well, you're going to have to see me another time.
Oh, she's holding out on us. All right. Okay. I like that. So what can we do for you, Victoria?
Okay, well, basically, I'm interested in setting up a PVR type of system on one or more TVs. And the problem is here in Quebec, we have to deal with Videotron, and to get the digital stations, like, for example, Tech TV, we have to go through a converter box.
Sure.
Now, well, that's okay if you're
That's normal.
my question is, how do you fit this converter box into this whole system?
The PVR, right.
With the PVR, like to record it, how do you, for example, if I just put a splitter on my Eleco converter box and I run it into my card, into my ATI card in the computer, I can get all the channels except, like, for example, Tech TV, which is one of the digital channels.
Well, we want you to get that for sure.
Well, I get that on the TV, but I can't get that on the computer.
Let me understand. So this is normal, by the way. You know, you've got the cable coming in. You have to have a decoder, especially on digital cable, to turn that digital into an analog signal that your TV or your VCR can understand. So that box has digital in, and it presumably has analog out. It has RCA jacks out that you would then connect to your TV, or SVHS out, or something like that, right? Now, when you connect it direct to the TV, you could see all the channels. Is that right?
Right.
When you connect it direct to the All-in-Wonder, you should be able to still see all the channels.
Right. You just can't do it with a splitter. As soon as you do it with a splitter, it won't allow you to do that.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of possibilities, the reasons for the splitter. One may be just the signal gets too low. But it probably, I'm guessing, has to do with copy protection.
Yeah, it's the video company won't let you do it unless you pay like another $5 a month.
There we go.
You need to use, well, the problem is you need to use 2 decoder boxes at that point.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's purely an electrical issue where you just don't have enough juice to split it. I'm thinking, you know, one of the big issues for all cable companies is they don't want the movie companies to get mad at them when they're providing a good, high-quality digital movie. The real fear is that somebody like you is going to come along with a PVR and record that thing in perfect quality and then distribute it or pirate it or something like that. So they very often build into these digital boxes all sorts of copy protection to prevent you from doing that. Now, you're getting an analog signal out, so it seems like, you know, they should be okay with that. I mean, that's kind of traditional. Then now you could record it on a VCR, or should be able to record it on your hard drive too, because it's not a high quality digital. I think it might be, maybe Andy, you can help me. It might be the issue is that just splitting it gets you too low a signal. It's weird that you get some channels but not other channels when you split it.
No, I get all of the channels except for the specialty digital channels like Tech TV. I'm sure there are other channels as well. But
you get the analog channels, okay. It's the digital channels that you stop getting.
Well, what happens if you tune into the digital channel?
Yeah, what do you see?
What do you see?
Well, they just don't appear as an option.
Maybe it's the guide listing that's just not registered to handle the...
That's right.
Well, a splitter should, I mean, in theory, a splitter should split exactly the same signal should come out of both ends of the splitter, right?
It doesn't.
Now, I guess, I'm not sure why it doesn't. I guess... I mean, you know, look, if we got one of our engineers here to come over to your house, they could, and they've done it here, in fact, they've had to, with soldering iron in hand, and they could build something that would boost the signal up if it's just a signal issue. I don't think you really want to get into that, Victoria, but you probably could go to your local electronics store and say, look, I don't need a passive splitter, I need something more active that's going to boost the signal up a little bit. That may be the issue. But again, it may be a copy protection issue, although I don't know how they would know you're splitting it once it comes out of the box.
I don't either. But then the question is, with or without this, I mean, let's leave my computer aside. But if I'm just now all these media center...
I know, it's just complicated, doesn't it? Yeah.
Computers that are coming out.
Right.
How would you go around connecting that decoder box? How would you connect that to the
basically,
computer?
it's the same. You should think of it as the same as just another TV or another VCR on the unit. Now, some of these, I think you're all in wonder, have a pass-through. So what I would try is see if you could figure out how to do it without a splitter. In other words, pass that signal out of the Eleco into the All-in-Wonder or into the Media Center unit, and then see if it has a TV pass-through, an output that you could then hook up your TV to. That's what a VCR would have. That's what if you could get a TiVo up here, that's what a TiVo would have. That's what any normal box would have as a pass-through. And I'm trying to remember if the All-in-Wonder does. It sure ought to. I believe it does. What you'll see is that you'll see coax in and you'll see coax out. And the coax out should be just a loop, and then it goes on another device. Okay. So that way you could record, but if the recorder is not doing anything, you still could watch the plain TV.
Yeah. Is there a website you can recommend that would have answers to
PVRs?
these questions?
Yeah, that's a really that is a good question. You know, generally in the States, I tell people just forget it. It's so much trouble. You just go out and buy a consumer device like a Replay or a TiVo. But of course, here in Canada, you don't have that option, which is a shame. And the cable companies often do have PVRs. Does your cable company offer a PVR?
Yeah, and actually, I did get one of those for one of the TVs.
It might be simpler.
Yeah. Now I have to figure out how to record from it.
It shouldn't be hard, but sometimes it is. You know, that's a really good question. Andy, can you find a site, or Amber, can you find a site that would give her more information about how building your own PVR and so forth?
We should check in with our friend Mark, who's PVR hack.
He's built his own PVR.
Yeah.
I don't see any off the top of my head, and certainly none of them come to mind.
I mean, the other thing I found here in Canada is that your PVRs, the best solution for PVRs, if you go to your cable company directly and get the custom
That's true in the
built
States too, frankly, is that it's so expensive by the time you put together your computer, you figure out how to do it, the time wasted to figure out how to do it, and then you don't get results, frankly, that are as good as a consumer PVR. Those things are tuned to be doing that. So I think, you know, my recommendation, well, how much, it's probably expensive to get another one, huh?
To get another one.
You already have one PVR in the house, yeah.
The PVR costs about $700-800.
Oh my goodness,
it's expensive here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
yeah,
it would be cheaper to get a computer.
Samsung's coming out with a line this fall of PVRs, like third-party PVRs, lower cost. Yeah.
Who is?
Yeah.
Samsung, which is a very good Korean television company, and that I would not hesitate to recommend at all.
Yeah, no, I like them. They're great.
You know, Victoria, it sounds like, and what we have to do, maybe somebody will know and can email us or can call us and let us know. It sounds like there's some copy protection in that Illico box, but it may be that if you just got the right splitter, it would work. So we're going to try to figure out if it's an Illico issue, or if it's a cable company issue, or if you're really stuck and you have to go out and buy another digital decoder.
Okay, well, that's great.
Hey, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is. Take care. Well, you can go get that. It's really one of the interesting things that we didn't get in the States so much because TiVos are so, we're just a few $100s.
Yes.
And so people just buy a TiVo and we just solve the whole thing. But here, everybody wants that functionality, and it's turning out to be quite expensive from the cable companies or the satellite companies.
The problem here in Canada is we seem to be, especially with the new cutting-edge stuff, about 18 months behind whatever the U.S. has.
Yeah.
So, if TiVos are starting to be all the rage, in the last 12 months, probably in the next 18 months we'll see.
Yeah, and this is also a tricky one because the movie companies are really nervous about all this, and there's all these regulatory issues and these rights issues, and Replay almost got sued out of existence by the Motion Picture Association of America, who said, you can't be doing that. So that's, I think, also part of the problem is that these companies don't want to do it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the call, Victoria. Interesting question. All right, we've thought it over. We've decided to give you one more chance to take our tech quiz. Our question of the day. What are Bezier curves? I just like saying Bezier. A way of predicting errors, math used in vector graphics, a type of drafting tool, or dangerous roads in France? Outrageous! Get to the website, give us the answer. We'll talk about it when Call for Help continues. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you what Bezier curves are. I just like saying Bezier. I believe it's the math used in vector graphics. You use that all the time when you use Illustrator or Freehand. One of the vector graphics illustration tools, you'll use those Bezier curves. But in school, we use those too. We'd have the little Bezier curve thing. Did you ever do Bezier curves?
No.
I just like the name.
Yeah, it's a nice name, Bezier.
If you are running out of costume ideas, you don't have to spend a fortune to impress your friends. As you can see, we've spent virtually nothing. Amber shows us a site that will help you and your family find homemade costumes. It'll take the stress out of your Halloween.
Yeah, we've all gone through that when it's coming up to Halloween and we don't have a costume picked out already.
I hate that.
I know, I hate that too.
Wait a minute. We've got to make... Mikey, can you come over here and flip the switch for us?
Mikey's got a good...
What do you want?
No, just the thanks. All right.
You happy now?
Yeah, I'm happy now.
Very good. Our disgruntled bunny.
So let's take a look at the site.
So the site we're going to look at is ehow.com, which I think a lot of people have probably gone to. It's a site to learn how to do just about anything. And they have a great list of costume ideas. So how to find the perfect Halloween costume. So
These sites, ehow always remind me of the good old days of the internet.
It's great.
When there used to be a lot of stuff like that. And, but there is still, this stuff still survives.
Everybody needs this type of content, and they update it every year. So it's really simple. So the top 10 Halloween costumes.
Lady of Ancient Rome?
Exactly. And they have...
could that beat Survivor Castaway, Lady of
I know. See, they have one costume we're going to look at is
Professor
guy that got.
McGonagall.
I know.
Oh, that's from Harry Potter. Okay.
Guy that got run over by a car.
That's like the number 9 Halloween costume.
Yeah. Homemade Halloween costume.
Let's see it. Oh, let's see it. I think Andy did this once, didn't he? Or no, he did the guy who got bitten by the lion.
Yeah, it was the
Siegfried.
Siegfried, yeah, Siegfried. I dressed up as Roy last year, and I had like a tiger that was like biting my neck.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, this is kind of a neat.
This actually tell you how to do it.
Yeah, it tells you. So this is what is great about eHow and all their costume ideas. It's step by step.
And look at your shirt.
Yeah, so you take your shirt outside, lay it on the ground, and you actually drive over it. So get a bunch of mud and drive back and forth over it so it has tire marks.
You really want to make this accurate. You wear the shirt when you drive over it. No.
No. Don't do that.
That's a bad idea.
Don't do that. So it has step-by-step instructions for how to do all of this, and it talks about taking branches and sticking them in your shirt, and so it looks like you actually really got run over. And then wearing one shoe. This is the key for the costume.
Wearing one
shoe, so it looked like the other one fell off. So this site has lots of...
This is my kind of costume, because I usually end up in tin foil because I forget to the last minute.
I know. I dressed up as duct tape woman one year. I wrapped my entire body in duct tape. It was quite fun. On the Castro in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. They're famous for their Halloween parties.
Yeah, I fit right in.
Duct tape women. You have any pictures of that we could put on the site?
No. I do, but no. Definitely not. So we're going to look at a couple other ideas for Halloween costumes on eHow. We have how to create your own Halloween makeup, which is really, really neat, actually. So pretty much any costume you do, it would be great to have makeup that matches. So you can do red makeup, orange makeup, any different color. So this is a really simple recipe to go in the kitchen and get shortening, cornstarch, flour, and some food coloring and make your own makeup so you can put it on and decorate your face. Yeah, so this is good for kids, too, if you don't want to buy makeup.
It's going to cause an ant problem.
No. And then my favorite thing, this is the last part of the list of ideas for homemade costumes, is how to make blubber.
Blubber?
Cool.
Yeah.
I know exactly how to make Halloween. I've been making it for years. What do you mean make blubber?
No. How to make blubber.
Oh, that's for eyeballs.
For eyeballs and things like that, and just sort of gross things to carry around when you're going to Halloween parties. So you take water and glue and
you can never have too much
mix
blubber.
It all together. It gets all lumpy and
we call it this is GAC. Yeah, I've made this. Yeah, GAC is another name.
Yeah, so these are just fun ideas on how to eHow.com to how to ideas for costumes and parties and crafts and things like that.
I'm glad eHow is still around.
Yeah.
They were one of those internet bubble companies that I thought, these guys, how are they going to make money? But they've survived.
But they do. They have lots.
It's very useful.
Oh, it's very useful. They have templates for making actually, capes and other costume ideas for kids, and they have lots of great stuff. And later on, we're going to do another segment about carving pumpkins. So
good.
This isn't the end of
You're good. I'm looking at the pumpkin you did. You're good.
I tried. I tried. It was a late night.
You just see Trixie with her knife and her duct tape. And
Good to get the aggression out.
Hey, do we have another caller?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we have Margaret from Rodon, Quebec back on the line.
Oh, good. I'm going to stay here because I think Margaret has a question you might help us with. Hi, Margaret. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Leo. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm sorry we lost you earlier, but glad we could get you back on.
That's okay.
What can I do for you today?
Yeah, I'm fairly new to computing, and every time I load one of your free files down, I seem to have a problem. Either it doesn't load down completely, or it doesn't work properly, and then I try to get another program to fix that program. And it's an endless circle.
Well, I'm glad you called us because we're to blame for your woes. And I apologize. Those free files are very tempting.
Yeah, they are.
Amber comes up with a lot of them. Amber and Andy really are responsible for the free files.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions? I mean, you probably, in order to put your free files on the show, you probably go through a bunch more than you end up in.
Yeah, definitely go. One of the things that I do, which is really, really helpful, is to actually go and check the reviews of the free files.
Before you install.
Before you install it, check what comments people have put, whether you're using Softpedia or Download.com or any of these different sites. Check out if other people have had problems, and then maybe you don't want to use that file. If it's something we've recommended, maybe it's something as simple as not actually running the program, so it's downloaded, but you don't know how to actually click on the exe file or something like that. That's happened to me before.
We do, we are pretty careful, Margaret, not to give you bad tips. I mean, we look at everything that we do as a free file. We've tested, and we know runs. So make sure that you, it could be a compatibility issue. What version of Windows are you using?
XP.
Okay, that's good.
That should be okay.
I would be very careful anyway. I mean, you don't want to install too many programs.
No, I don't go nuts. I try not to download too many. Like one of my major things right now is Java Virtual Machine.
Yeah.
The launcher enter. It says they can't find the main class program and will exit. So
the thing to do on that, are you using Firefox or Mozilla or
Firefox?
Firefox, yeah. This is a common problem. We tell people to use Firefox because it's safer. But the very first thing you need to do is you need to get Java working on Firefox.
Right.
So the easiest way to do that is to use, in Firefox, go to java.com and press that download now button. And it should install itself. You should get a little box that says...
Oh, I have downloaded it.
Okay.
But it's not there.
Well, I'm saying use their installer on their site. Press the download now button. And then the other thing is, to always download to the desktop. A lot of times you'll download stuff and it goes somewhere.
That's a good tip.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when you download, when it's asking you where to put it, actually say save it and navigate to the desktop. It'll remember it. You only have to do that the first time.
Yeah. And then you can put it somewhere else afterwards. But at least so you can locate it.
Then it'll
right
be
away.
there and you can find it. One other suggestion is to run the system restore, set a system restore point before you install anything.
Yeah, in Control Panel on XP, they have the system restore function, which is usually turned on, I think.
Yeah, I've used that a lot before. Well, a few times. Yeah. And the guy that does my things on computers when they don't work, he said not to use it. He says it's caused a lot of problems.
I have mixed feelings on this. It can take up space. And it can take up CPU cycles. But in a case like this where you have a half install or things have gotten messed up, it can be a lifesaver to have that system restore point. So what I would suggest, I don't go crazy with system restore, but I would say before you install something, set a system restore point. You can use that, as Amber said, from the accessories menu. And then if it doesn't install well, run the uninstaller, restore this thing, and you'll be able to get your system at least back to where it was.
Now, before I download the Java again, should I remove it?
Yes, uninstall, install again.
Okay. And I had installed the Windows XP too.
Yes, good.
Terrible.
Oh.
My whole computer, I took it out, I uninstalled it.
Okay.
But I think it left some residue things because I have to sign on to websites constantly now.
Margaret, we have to run because we're out of time. But I think, Margaret, that part of this problem is you probably have some spyware on your system. So
I have Norton.
Yeah, but Norton doesn't get spyware, only viruses. You want to get Spybot or Adaware. We have a whole section on spy and spy software, anti-spy software. And I really think that's probably part of the problem. We have to run, Margaret, but it's so great to talk to you.
Thank you very much, Leo.
Thanks for watching the show, and I'm sorry that we've messed your system.
Oh, no.
It's not over. Some final words when Call for Help continues in our Halloween edition. Stay right here.
Send me to hell! I don't know any help.
Welcome back to Call for Help. Don't forget to check out our contest online, callforhelptv.com. Some great prizes. Everybody loves to win. I know you do, so check it out for your chance to win. We have some fun stuff. I feel bad for Margaret because it sounds like it sometimes happens where you had a just kind of overwhelming mess on your system, and the best thing you can do at that point is to reinstall, I would say. In fact, that's what I would recommend you do, Margaret. Start from scratch, back up everything, reinstall Windows, then do Service Pack 2 on a clean install of Windows. That's going to protect you going forward. Hey, speaking of protection, come here, Basil. I've been watching you all during the show. You got something in that pocket. What do you got there? Let me see. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, hey. What is this? What is this? If you want to be on the show, throw him in the jail there. If you want to be on the show, make sure you go to callforhelptv.com. What is that? And click the box where it says Ask Us a Question. No need to suffer in silence. We're here to help. Remember, if you got a problem with your personal confuser, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. Just call for Trixie. Have a great Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
There we go.